New footage has emerged of Conor McGregor coaching the Ultimate Fighter. Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith on the Believe You Me podcast reacted to Dustin Poirier's altercation with that guy holding up the sign last week. If you missed that, some random guy held up a sign saying your wife is in my DMs, and Dustin slapped him.
Am I the only guy that like sits around with his buddies and when we're all just having a drink or watching the fights or something and someone will just go, your wife's in me DMs? Like, we joke about it all the time. Like I feel bad because Dustin's so offended by it, but like that's like one of those like one-liners that is just stuck. So my friends say it all the time. Anytime I'm saying something or I'm messing with them or we're ribbing each other, one of them will just say that. So it looked to me like he was like he thought it was going to be funny to Dustin.
For sure, I totally get what you're talking about there. Your friends, you're busting balls, you're allowed to do that. This guy's gone to a lot of effort to do that. And obviously, clearly,
he's an idiot.
Situation for Dustin Poirier. So I think he was just trying to be a knobhead. But then, you know how it is, like people talk online, they talk on Twitter, but then when they see you in person, they want to shake your hand and get a picture with you. It might have been like that. Or maybe he was just saying it in good jest, but there was no lol, there was no smiley face, you know. It might, and Dustin might have took it slightly the wrong way.
Yeah, it was poorly executed, but it did look like he was shocked that Dustin was pissed. So, if you look at Dustin on Twitter, he's very playful. And even when people are talking shit, he's always got like a real funny response, like he's really quick-witted. So I'm wondering if like that guy got the wrong vibe, because I would never say that to Dustin. Like I would never crack that joke to him. But I don't know, maybe he just got a poor sense of comedy.
Yeah, well, maybe, or he got a poor side of Dustin Poirier.
Francis Ngannou has reacted to Jon Jones' Twitter rant earlier this week. Jon said that Francis didn't sign to fight him because he didn't believe in himself. He explained why he said that on Twitter. He wrote, I found an interview of Francis talking about how he'll forever be the undisputed champion because no one beat him. Once I saw that, my tone changed. I thought I would tell how I really felt. He did make the right decision. He left before I came back. Smart move. Francis responded to Jon on Twitter saying, Johnny boy, pick a side of the fence. In the tweet, Francis has a screenshot of a quote from Jon right before he was about to fight Daniel Cormier for a second time. It says, he was never the light heavyweight champion. He never beat me. This has been my era since 2011. I want to make that loud and clear. DC is no champ. When we talk about an asterisk next to my name, there's always going to be an asterisk next to the idea of him being a champ. John McCarthy on the Weighing In podcast goes off on the referee who reffed Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Big John discusses the ref taking points from both Jake and Tommy and says the whole thing was embarrassing.
It was a close fight. The one thing that I'm going to say out of the whole thing, Josh, is the referee, dude, you that up, okay?
It was horrible.
This is not about you, dude. I don't know what the hell. You need to freaking understand, if you haven't done a lot of championship fights sometimes start off ugly, and there's a lot.
Seemed like he had never done any fights, John.
Oh my God, it was embarrassing. It was. You are acting like, this is the way I looked at it. You're acting like an amateur referee trying to do a professional fight, and you see, before they get used to it, there's a difference in it. And man, he that up. First off, the point deductions themselves. Stop. If there was a bad point in this entire matchup, it was you. Yeah. You really just overstepped what you needed to do to be effective in that fight, and you inserted yourself when you did not have to. So that was a problem.
Dana White recently spoke on the ongoing TUF season with Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. Dana said, I think him and Chandler respect each other, but when you think about Conor and Chandler, they're both a couple of guys that no matter if they respect each other, they like each other, they hate each other, when they step in there and they fight, that fight is going to be absolute pure violence. Aljamain Sterling on his YouTube channel gives his prediction for Jon Jones versus Surreal Gane. Aljo reacts to Gane recently claiming that he doesn't train unless he has a fight booked. Aljo doesn't believe it.
I'm going to keep it a buck. You know, Jon Jones is Jon Jones. I know he's putting on the size and everything, but there's so many unknowns. What is it, 3 years he's been out of the game, going up a weight class, going against a guy who moves just as nimble, who looks like he's like Israel Adesanya in terms of his feints and his footwork, light on his toes. Really good striker, comes from a kickboxing background. Obviously, we know the wrestling is a huge deficiency. We've seen that with the Francis Ngannou fight, but that's also not thinking that Francis is going to come in there and wrestle. With that being said,
he also said he wasn't really training.
I don't know if that's true. I feel like he's capping, man. I think he's definitely training in the offseason. It doesn't have to be a full-on training camp and as intense, but I think the guy is definitely training. You're a world champion. If you think you're not going to train, if this is what he's really doing and there's no cap there, bro, that's not looking good. He's not going to go for the wrestling right out of the gate because that's a lot of weight. And with the guy putting his weight on him, that's going to be different. But if Jon gets a clean takedown, he makes him carry his weight. Good luck getting up against Jon Jones.
Yeah. So if it gets to the ground once, you think it's just...
I think it's curtains.
On yesterday's UFC Embedded for UFC 285, there was a clip of Jon Jones doing a Chael Sonnen impersonation.
Jon Jones. It's interesting. Why would he do that? Yeah.
Chael reacted to the clip in an interview with Barstool Sports. Chael says he believes Jon is still using PEDs. Chael said, yeah, he's looking strong. He's looking juicy. He's looking very juicy, but I mean, he's wearing a sweatshirt there and I haven't seen him. He was dropping hints that he wasn't going to fight until he hit 240 pounds. He brought in a well-known steroid guy to be his head coach, and now he's claiming he's 250 pounds. That's the first time I've seen him in that sweatshirt. I don't know. I look forward to seeing him out of that sweatshirt. He's not worried about it. I mean, they've changed the rules so picograms are okay. He's the only guy that can fail a steroid test and it's okay. He's the only guy in USADA's history that's failed a test, and they changed the rules. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to Patty Pimblett saying that Joe Rogan's comments after his fight against Jared Gordon bothered him. The first one's from Brick Bazooka. It says Patty saying that he doesn't care what people say is as believable as saying that he won his last fight. The second one's from Peter Griffin. It says the difference between Conor's rise and Patty's rise is that Conor was actually good. And the final one says Patty literally lost half of his fans over one fight and still keeps digging himself deeper and deeper into the hole. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.